Good morning, students. Today we are going to learn geography, lesson number 1, resources and development. Let us start the lesson. First, we are going to learn the definition of resource. What is the definition of resource? Look at the definition of resource. Everything available in our environment which can be used to satisfy our needs, provided it is technologically accessible, economically feasible, and culturally acceptable, can be termed as resource. Now, whatever materials are present in our environment which we are using to satisfy our needs, to be a resource, those materials need to fulfill 3 conditions. What are those 3 conditions? Condition number 1, technologically accessible. Now the meaning of this is that with the help of machines and tools, we should be able to extract the minerals from the environment. Condition number 2, economically feasible. That means there must be enough materials or reasonable materials to be extracted from the environment. If the material in the environment is too less, then economically it is not viable to extract it from the environment. Now, condition number 3, culturally acceptable. That means whatever material we are extracting it from the environment must be accepted by the society without any obligation. Now, let's move to the next. The process of transformation of things available in our environment involves an interactive relationship between nature, technology, and institutions. Now here, transformation of materials which we are extracting from the environment involves the interactive relationship between 4 things. Now, what are those 4 things? Human beings, then institutions, then technology, then nature. So, these 4 things, interdependent relationship, we are going to learn in this diagram. Now, look at this diagram. Name of the diagram: interdependent relationship between nature, technology, and institutions. Now look at the diagram. Human beings are at the center. Now they, with the help of technology, extract the minerals from environment and send it to the industries. And in the industries, these materials are further processed and developed. Now, next topic. Do you think that resources are free gifts of nature as is assumed by many? They are not. Actually, resources are not free gifts of nature. Why they are not free gifts of nature? Point number 1. Resources are a function of human activities. Human beings, point number 2, human beings themselves are essential components of resources. This means that human beings, they themselves are resources. Point number 3, they transform material. Who transform material? Human beings. So, human beings transform material which are available in our environment into resource and use them. So, these 3 points you are supposed to write if the question is of 3 marks. So do keep in mind that resources are not free gifts of nature. In the development of resources in every stage, right from extracting, buying the technology to extract the mineral, then sending it to the industries where they are further processed, then they are sent it to the market. In every stage we need to spend lot of money. So resources are not free gifts of nature. Now let's move to the next. The resources are classified on the basis of 4 types. Now look at those 4 types. The first one is origin. Second one is exhaustibility. Third one is ownership. And the fourth one is status of development. Now, based on origin, they are further classified into biotic and abiotic. Based on exhaustibility, they are classified into renewable and non-renewable. Based on ownership, they are classified into individual resources. Second one's community resources. Third one, national resources. Fourth one, international resources. Now, based on status of development, resources are further classified into 4 types. Point number one, that is potential resource. Second one is developed resource. Third one is stock. Fourth one is reserves. Now, let's move to the next, that is your flow diagram of resources. Now look at this flow diagram. Resources are classified into 2 types. Natural resources, human resources. Now, natural resources are further classified renewable and non-renewable. Okay, and renewable is classified into continuous or flow. Example is given wind and water. And biological. Now, biological is classified into natural vegetation and wildlife. Now, non-renewable is classified into recyclable and non-recyclable. Then we are moving to the human resources. They are classified into 2 structures and institutions, means buildings. Then quantity and quality. Quantity means number of people and quality means the inner skills of people. Okay. Now let's move to the next.